Nobody tells you this part. The moment you hold your newborn against your chest, skin on skin, nothing between you, something happens that has nothing to do with warmth or comfort. Something biological. Something that will quietly shape who that baby becomes, down to the actual structure of their brain. And most parents are doing it without knowing any of this. Or worse, they've been told to put the baby down, give them space, don't hold them too much. That advice is wrong, not slightly off, deeply, measurably wrong. Here's what's actually happening when you hold your baby skin to skin. A newborn's brain at birth is about 25% developed. That number stops most people cold. A foal walks within hours of being born. A dolphin swims immediately. Your baby can do almost nothing on their own. That's not a flaw, that's the whole design. Human evolution made a trade-off. Deliver the baby earlier, finish building the brain outside the womb, using the world as the construction site. And the most important building material in those first weeks and months? You, specifically your skin. Most parents never hear this part explained. In the 1970s, a pediatrician named Dr. Edgar Ray in Bogotá, Colombia was facing a crisis. His hospital didn't have enough incubators for premature babies. Out of desperation, he started placing those infants directly on their mothers' chests. What happened next changed neonatal medicine permanently. Babies the medical team expected to lose survived. Not just survived, they regulated their own body temperature, stabilized their breathing, gained weight faster, went home sooner. They called it Kangaroo Care. And when researchers tried to understand why it worked so consistently, the answer kept coming back to the same thing. The mother's body was doing what the incubator couldn't. It was communicating with the baby's body in a language that no machine had ever been built to speak. The biology of it is worth understanding. When a newborn is placed skin to skin on a parent's chest, cortisol levels drop within minutes. Cortisol is the stress hormone. And elevated cortisol in a newborn's brain isn't just uncomfortable, it's structurally damaging. Repeated cortisol spikes in the first months of life alter the architecture of the hippocampus, the part of the brain involved in memory, learning, and emotional regulation. A baby whose cortisol stays chronically elevated isn't just a stressed baby. They're building a brain organized around stress, one that expects the world to be unsafe, one that will spend years trying to unlearn that. Skin-to-skin contact interrupts all of that, stops it, resets the system. At the same time, oxytocin is released in the baby and in you simultaneously. Oxytocin isn't just a bonding hormone in some soft, poetic sense. It's a neurochemical signal that tells the nervous system, you are safe, you are known, you are not alone. In the baby's developing brain, oxytocin actively promotes the growth of neural connections in the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for emotional regulation, empathy, and decision-making. The region that, more than any other, defines us as human. So when you hold your baby against your skin, you are building those parts of their brain, not metaphorically, physically. There's a concept researchers call physiological synchrony. When a baby is in skin-to-skin contact with their caregiver, their bodies begin to sync. Breathing patterns align, heart rate starts to mirror, sleep cycles begin to coordinate. A study out of Bar-Ilan University in Israel documented this down to microsecond-level coordination of breath between mothers and babies during skin contact. Two separate nervous systems linking up like two instruments tuning to each other. What that means in practice, your calm, regulated nervous system is actively lending itself to your baby's immature one. You are running their biology for them while they develop the capacity to run it themselves. Researchers call this co-regulation, and it is one of the most important things a parent's body does in the entire first year of life. When that contact is absent, the baby's body has to manage alone, and it can't, not well, not yet. Studies tracking premature babies who received regular Kangaroo Care found differences that lasted far longer than anyone expected. At age 10, children who had received extensive skin-to-skin contact showed better cognitive development, lower anxiety, stronger stress response systems, and more secure attachment patterns than children who had spent the same time in incubators with identical medical care. The feeding was the same, the monitoring was the same, the medical treatment was the same, the only variable was contact, skin on skin. Now here's the part most parents miss entirely, because this is where skin to skin goes beyond the newborn stage. A baby's brain doesn't just wire for stress regulation during skin contact. It wires for everything more effectively. When oxytocin is present, the brain enters a heightened state of neuroplasticity. It becomes more receptive, more ready to absorb and connect. Researchers at the University of California found that infants who received more physical contact in the first months showed accelerated development not just in emotional regions, but in the areas responsible for language processing. Holding your baby isn't separate from their development, it's feeding it. Skin to skin in the first days is critical, but so is the quiet, daily physical closeness that follows. The hand resting on their back while they sleep, the cheek resting against theirs when you carry them. The unhurried minutes after a feed when it's just warmth and breathing, and nothing else needs to happen right now. These aren't indulgences, they are inputs. The baby's nervous system is reading every single one of them. There's a study from the Touch Research Institute at the University of Miami that tracked infant brain activity during different types of touch. Slow, deliberate touch, the kind a calm caregiver naturally uses, activated the vagus nerve, the primary nerve of the parasympathetic system, the system responsible for rest, digestion, calm, and the felt sense of safety. That nerve doesn't activate from sound. It doesn't activate from sight. It activates from touch. It is one of the only biological pathways to calm that requires physical contact to open. When your hands are slow and warm on your baby's body, you are opening that pathway. You are teaching their nervous system that the world is not dangerous. And that lesson, once it's in there, doesn't leave. The research on early attachment is unambiguous about this now. Babies who receive consistent, responsive physical closeness in the first year are significantly more likely to develop secure attachment. And secure attachment is the single strongest predictor of long-term mental health and relationship quality that developmental science has ever found. More predictive than socioeconomic status. More predictive than IQ. More predictive than educational interventions introduced years later. The window is real. The first year is not like other years. The brain never again grows at the pace it grows right now. Neural pathways are forming and pruning every single day, shaped by what the baby is experiencing. And one of the most powerful experiences available is the most ordinary one, being held. So if you've been told to put them down more, to encourage independence earlier, to let them self-soothe in these first months, you deserve the full picture. Your baby's brain is not ready for independence, not neurologically, not developmentally. What it is ready for, what it is designed for, what it is actively depending on is you. Your heartbeat, your warmth, the sound of your breathing, your smell. These are not habits your baby has picked up that you'll need to break later. They are biological inputs your baby's brain is using right now to regulate, to develop, to build the architecture that will carry them through the rest of their life. The moments you hold your baby against you, nothing between you might feel unremarkable, just a quiet part of the day. But inside that baby's brain, nothing ordinary is happening at all.